Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live. Tonight's topic is going to be on energy hygiene. Energy hygiene is centering, grounding, protecting yourself, and what to do when negative energy is hanging around that you want to get rid of. So my name is Amanda Dahl. This is Christopher Dahl, my husband.
Hello, everyone.
And we co-own Dahl Holistic Health here in San Diego, California. And we do Reiki sessions privately. We do Reiki classes, soul coaching, health coaching, biomagnetic pair therapy, and Christopher also does yoga, sound healing, and Reiki workshops.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to kind of get right down to it, is centering. One of the reasons why we wanted to do this Facebook Live tonight is we very often hear from our clients that they have a hard time centering and grounding themselves. They just kind of getting a grip on what's going on around them. Because there's so many outside influences in our day-to-day lives that can make us feel stressed out energetically or stretched too thin. So we wanted to give you some tools to be able to identify these feelings and how you can help yourself be able to center and ground and use different energy hygiene tools. So centering, how you would center yourself. If you're having a particularly stressful day, one of the ways that we suggest for people to center themselves is to simply try to find a quiet space to sit down and close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just bring your energy back into yourself. Sometimes our space just, we feel like we're everywhere and that we're stretched thin. So it's just bringing your energy back into yourself, closing your eyes, taking some deep breaths, and just feeling the energy come back into your body.
Yeah. You could also use a short meditation. And if you're not great at things like meditation, there's a lot of great videos on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm sure there's plenty of Facebook Lives. There's also apps for phones like Headspace that will walk you through a meditation and just help you get into that space. And it's really about bringing your thoughts back in to be more focused and more clear.
Right. Prayer is another good way to do that.
Absolutely.
For centering. So the next thing would be grounding. So once you've centered yourself, grounding would be the next natural thing. So you'd want to ground yourself when you, again, it's very related to the need to center yourself. It's when your energy is just getting too big. You need to kind of bring yourself back to earth, if you will. And just connect yourself back to the earth. So one of the guided meditations that we have used for different events that we've done is simply closing your eyes, taking some deep breaths. And we tell people to imagine that you have roots growing out of your feet. And so you're like a tree in a sense, and you're planting your roots back into the ground. Feel roots come out of your bottom. Really connect yourself back to your chair, back to the ground, wherever it is that you're doing this particular exercise. And again, meditation can really help with this, to just bring you back down to feel that connection and to bring your energy back into yourself.
Yeah. As another add-on, yoga is really good for that. It helps to bring yourself, center yourself, connect your physical body back to the earth, and to work out any trapped energy that might be stored in a chakra, or emotions can get built up anywhere, especially where we've had trauma. They will build up in that body part. So through even just movement and exercise, Tai Chi, Qigong, any of those, they're called MBIs, and I can't recall what that stands for, mind body intervention, I believe. Those things will help you release that trapped energy, which is really what we're trying to do with the grounding as well. You could also refer to our video we did last week or 2 weeks ago about crystals.
Yes.
Because we do talk about some good grounding crystals in that.
Mm-hmm. And 4 weeks ago, we did a Facebook Live on being able to give yourself Reiki. And we actually go through a guided exercise during that Facebook Live where it's really a sort of a grounding exercise where, we help you to bring your energy back in and to use Reiki to do that, which doesn't require you to have any training in order to use the different exercises that we talked about in that video as well. So definitely go back through our video library and you'll see some different tools that you can use to implement some of these skills that we're talking about tonight.
Absolutely. The next things we want to talk about is cloaking. And before we go into that, I'm just going to tell you briefly about your aura, which everybody's probably heard that term at one point or another in their life. And we actually have an example of what that looks like. We went on vacation to Sedona, and we were able to get a photograph done of each of our auras. And we have some pictures to share of those. And your aura is very dynamic. It changes all the time. So this is a representation of what we looked like at that moment in our aura. It was a fun experience to see it. It doesn't take long, and it certainly doesn't hurt or anything. So you can see here, this is kind of the space around our bodies that is taken up by the energy that we emit. All of the cells in our body constantly are processing, and that generates energy for us to live. So that comes out and radiates out from us. And depending on your mood or emotion, that comes out at a certain distance away from you. And so when you're within someone else's aura, I'm in Amanda's aura right now, and she's in my aura. So sometimes if someone's in a bad mood and they're in your aura, that energy can kind of come over to you. And it can be very confusing where you were having a great day, then you sit with someone who was not having a great day, and all of a sudden your day is not good anymore, and you don't even realize what happened. So cloaking is really taking this aura here and turning it into something that will repel that negative energy when you go into a stressful situation, or you see someone that's in a bad mood, or you're going into a public place where there's a lot of people. So again, that comes down to a meditation, really. You're just taking a few minutes to yourself, close your eyes, and what I do is I imagine my energy here in my chest, in my heart chakra area, and then I breathe in, and I just visualize that energy getting bigger. And then when I exhale, the energy stays the same size. And then I inhale again, and it gets bigger, and I just grow it until it's outside of my body about 2 feet in all directions. And I just imagine it a pure white light, and that helps to mitigate some of that bad energy that can come from other people, stressful situations, and give you some shielding against that.
It's almost like putting an energetic bubble around yourself, so that nobody can come into your space. Like we've all felt when people have been in our space, like like if you're standing in line at the grocery store, maybe somebody's standing really close to you, and maybe they're standing behind you, but you can feel that somebody's in your energy space. Those are times where you'd want to be able to use some self-protection to your aura and not let anybody into your energy space. I think we've all felt times where we have felt those kinds of feelings.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think the next thing that we wanted to talk about was what to do if you have negative energy in your space that you want to clear. So we have a couple of things that we recommend if you need to clear your energetic space.
Absolutely.
So you want to give examples of what you like to do, what we like to do?
We definitely do a bit with saging and using Palo Santo to clear the area. you are a little more familiar with that. Why don't you talk about exactly how that works, if you don't mind?
Sure. So if you are familiar with saging or using Palo Santo, basically they are, sage is a plant and Palo Santo is bark or wood from a tree trunk. And what you would do is you would light them, and usually if you look online, you'll see them as a kit. Usually they sell it with an abalone shell and a feather, and you would make it smoke, and then you would go around the different, like in the corners of your room, in your room, and just use the feather to move the smoke into the corners. And what that does is it purifies the energy. It gets stagnant energy to move out, brings in some clean energy, if you will, and just gets everything moving so that nothing is stagnant in your space. You can do it with sage or Palo Santo. It really, for us, it came down to what we liked the smell of more. We happen to like the smell of the Palo Santo a little bit more than the sage smell.
Both are equally as effective.
Absolutely. So it really comes down to scent. Again, crystals, using crystals, and we gave our 8 favorite crystals to use for different things in the video that we did a couple of weeks ago, but you can definitely use crystals to influence the energy in a space. So if things are feeling stagnant, quartz is a great one to do that with. Labradorite is another crystal that is excellent for protection. So when we talked about self-protection and cloaking, using your crystals would be a great way to do that. Labradorite is one that I personally always recommend if you're looking for protection or any kind of barrier between you and other energies.
Prayer, if you're comfortable with using prayer and also calling out to angels, you can call in whatever angels or guides to help you clear a room when we do a session, or when we do a Reiki attunement. We clear the room that way. We don't use the sage or the Palo Santo.
Because
we actually pray.
We don't want to set the smoke detector off in the office.
So we call in angels and ask them to clear the area of any negative energy, bring in protection, and people who are sensitive to that can feel the energy change pretty quickly. I know for myself, I can feel the mood lift in the room. Absolutely. And you can do that if you're in a room full of people who are in a bad mood. Try it. They're not going to know what's going on, other than they may all of a sudden stop feeling less grouchy.
Right. Yeah. Let's see, other things to do to clear energy. Sometimes just going out and practicing some of the other things that we talked about, the centering, the grounding, the cloaking, sometimes just practicing those things is enough to move out any negative or stagnant energy that might be kind of sticking around. And something that we don't personally offer, but we have experienced ourselves, is sound healing, sound therapy. If you have like a little Tibetan bowl, you can just tap it and use it much the same as the sage or Palo Santos. You can, move energy with sound. So that would be another way to be able to clear out some stagnant energy. And one more thing with grounding that I just wanted to mention, just to give you a couple more techniques for grounding. We talked about before meditation and prayer and those sorts of things, but also earthing is another way. If you are familiar with earthing, it's just getting your toes in the sand, getting your toes out in the grass. That's another really great way to ground. Anything that connects you with the earth. So gardening, a lot of times people feel very peaceful when they're in the woods or when they're camping. That's because it's actually helping their body to reconnect to the earth. So those are other forms of grounding that I wanted to make sure that we mentioned for you.
Yeah. Right now, with everything that's going on in the world, people are carrying around a lot of anxiety. Sure. So you can't do too much of this type of thing. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some ways to get rid of this energy and protect yourself from taking it on,
Right.
because we're all just passing it around right now because it's a tough world right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that people need to clear. So on that note, what we'll do is we'll mention that we do offer during our Reiki sessions. This is the kind of thing that we work on a lot with people. We work on helping them to clear energy that they want to get rid of. We basically can kind of do like a good once over, so that when you go to employ some of these things at home, you'll be at a good starting point to be able to do that. But during a Reiki session, we can help you with the centering. We can help you with grounding. That's one of the things when Chris and I do sessions on people together. Usually I help down at the feet, and I do a lot of grounding for people just to help them reconnect and help you to clear that energy that doesn't belong there, that you don't want around anymore. I help you to get rid of that. And we also, if you have things that you just want to talk about, because a lot of times just talking about things is very therapeutic. We offer soul coaching, which basically, for people that they know that there's something more, they know that they're ready for the next thing, but maybe they're not sure what that next thing is. Sometimes just clearing some of this energy helps you to be able to move forward with what that next thing is. We find a lot of times with clients that they're on the verge of their next big idea. They're on the verge of figuring out what the next step is in their life, but they just need to clear a couple of these barriers so that they can move forward from that. So we can help you with any of that in a session.
And all of these things that we've talked about tonight and in the previous sessions are things that everyone has the capability to do.
Sure.
And it is all part of what we used to do. If you think about hundreds of years ago, people walked without shoes, so they were constantly grounding. They didn't have pavement. They didn't have rubber-soled shoes. They were more in contact with the earth and more connected to the earth.
Absolutely.
So in these times where we don't always have that luxury, we need to find some other ways to do that, or make the time to get out there. And if it's been years and you're blocked up, that's one of the things that we help get your energy flowing again, so that these things will work for you again easily and you can maintain it yourself.
Absolutely.
Do we have any questions from anyone?
Okay, well, if you do come up with any questions, be sure to put them in the comments when you're watching the replay of the video, because we monitor our comments. And if you want to reach out to us personally, absolutely do that. Our website is dollholistichealth.com. That's DAHL, dollholistichealth.com. And you can see all the different ways to contact us, the services that we offer. And we also have our video library here on Facebook with different topics that we've gone over in the past, if you want to go back and watch those. And they all end up on YouTube as well. So if you're more of a YouTube kind of person, the videos can all be found over there.
Great. Well, thank you for watching the video, and we look forward to hearing from you. Have a great evening.
Have a good night.